for a cheap price. So that's what we was doing. We would go in the roofing company at night and steal their stuff, throw it over the walls, and then sell it to the contractors that wanted it. When it comes to God, I had zero belief in God. Like everything that you hear, I'm telling you, when I say zero, I have zero belief in God. But there are sometimes you have dreams where
They said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer." Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits, and we will see what will become of his dreams.
All right, we on.
what's up, what's up, what's up?
What's
We
going
on.
on? We on. Welcome to the my second guest, my OG from YouTube. It's a pleasure to have him on. It's a pleasure to hear his testimony that we're about to hear. Um, Solid brother, solid man. I ran across him. OG, how did I get linked up with you on YouTube, man?
I think it
I
was the
know
one
it
video.
was God, but you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah, but I think it was the one video when I think everybody was coming at my neck and I was in there boxing.
I,
You know,
he was he was
I think I was in there like, they were just coming at my neck left and right, left and right. And I think I seen you popped up in there, and then you just started coming back afterwards. But I think I had my phone on the upright, and I probably had a lot of people in there, man. But you know, I guess when I
yeah.
when, like,
Um, OG, what I'm gonna do. How I have for white for the queen. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna add her in. Also, that way, if she have any questions at the end, you know what I
sure,
mean.
that's
You
fine.
sure you good with that? Okay,
I'm 100% okay with it.
okay. You know that's the partner right there. But I like to let people,
Yeah, that's all good,
um,
man. We all be in the same chat, same each other channel, man. We're like family, man. To some extent, you know what I mean? I say you two family.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, so like I said, make sure we record. Yeah, I think like you said, that might be the one you was just throwing for your life, dog. Not, and then like I think I'm like, man, because I don't get into politics. You feel me?
I know.
I look at it as a entertainment thing, not to go too far in mind. What all that, this ain't about me. But I think I saw how you was tussling in there, and I like I say, it struck a passion not in me, not or let me say I saw something in you that I like, because that's me all day. I sit there and just hell, sometimes I might start some shit, you feel me? And then sit there just to start just to start popping off. But I think I noticed that, and then I was agreeing with your side. Like I said, my stance, you feel me? If I
Right,
had to, what side it would be. You know what I mean? Like
right,
just going off of what we saw, you feel me? The whole
right,
the A or B.
right.
Um and so I think I respected it. I'm like, man, OG in here tussling. OG in here squabbling up. But I was agreeing with your claim, and I saw the emotion. And then on top of that, I was dealing, meanwhile, well, previously I was dealing with some family members, not some. I was dealing with a couple family members. You feel me? Who just
Right,
kept on with that was having the same argument. So I'm like,
right.
it kind of struck something in me. I'm like, man, sheesh. But yeah, so I think that's how it went down. I believe, but then the rest is history.
Yeah, man.
That's what I met through your channel.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I met Jay through. I mean, his wife started coming in first, and then he popped in later. But like I said, politics wasn't a big deal with me, man. Like honestly, before I know we're gonna go somewhere else with it, but it really wasn't a
Yeah,
big deal for me.
yeah, yeah.
And it almost we'll probably get into that a little bit because that's kind of fits the same mold, but it may be as we extend on. But honestly speaking, it started out. I started enjoying it, man. I was like, yo, y'all come with the smoke. Y'all gonna get it back now because I'm tired of being nice about this. You know what I mean, y'all not being nice. Now y'all, hey, I'm taking the kid gloves off, and it is what it is. It was a learning experience for me too, man. There was a lot of stuff that was going on in the background with that struck my interest. I was never a person that was into politics prior to this. Like I was kind of probably more closer to where you at. Is like, yeah, I do vote. I was never a person to say I don't vote, but I didn't make that. It wasn't on my priority list of I gotta vote. But when it's affecting my life too much, then that's where it kind of started to really, really change with me. Like I wasn't one of those people like, I gotta go vote. But then all of a sudden it was just like, wait a minute, this is
yeah.
It sent it. And then I started digging. I said, before I start running my mouth, I need to educate myself a lot more than what I'm educated in. And then I got pissed. And it was like, wait a minute. All right.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to tell Jay. I said, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole, man, because it's going to piss you off.
And I've been down there. You feel me? And I've been down there.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the rabbit hole, you know.
Yeah. Some of it is very entertaining. Some of it is some of it is entertaining, some of it is life-changing, and some of it, as much as you may not want to, you do have to take it serious because it does have an effect on your life individually wise, your neighborhood, your community, your stuff like that. So even if you don't participate in the whole aspect of it, you still have to pay it attention.
Yeah. Because
I look at it like Denzel Washington. I like the way he put it as opposed to the way Trump talk about like fake news. Denzel Washington said it best to me is, if you watch the news, you're misinformed, but if you don't watch it, you're uninformed. If you don't pay attention, you're not going to have an idea of what's going on. So that's how I look at it.
It's the duality in it. Yes. And like I said, I get that 100%, you know. Like I say, I'm type, you know, when the news say, if they say turn right, boy, I'm turning left. But if I wouldn't know, if I wouldn't have known that, you know, it was gonna be an option here, I wouldn't have known to disobey. You get what I'm saying? Right. I learned to make my, you know, you get what I'm saying?
It'll help you that much, man. But I know we didn't get into that part of it, man. Yeah. I know the bigger part was my life journey.
And like I say, you start wherever you want, wherever you feel comfortable. And if we have the private chat up, just in case Queen, we have any, you know, throw something out there, need to communicate with one another or anything, we can do that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's all good. But my life probably not as interesting as Jay. I'm just going to. Well, here's the thing, man. As a young man growing up in North Philadelphia, we was poor. And when I say poor, we were poor. The blessing in that is that we had a lot of family around. So if there was nothing to eat in my house, my grandfather was around the corner. My aunts and uncles didn't live far away, so there was help not too far away. But there were many times growing up that we wasn't sure we was going to eat tomorrow, by far. And our living conditions wasn't the best by any means.
Okay.
I watched my family try, but then I watched my family not try.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
My father, God rest his soul, he passed away a few years ago, but my mother and father was together for all my life. Wasn't married most of that, but they were together all my life. They got married later down the road, but they were together all my life. My brothers and sisters are not by my father. I am the only child between my mother and father. My brothers and sisters, they all have the same father. It was 5 of us. And when I say we was poor, we were poor. As we got older, back in the 70s, as we got we were young, 12, 11, 12, old enough to go in and out as I got old enough to get in and out the house, move around and stuff like that. My oldest sister was probably more influential in making sure I ate as much as she could, if there was something there to make sure I ate. So, but as a young kid, you start to learn how to do stuff real fast. You know how to use that stove, you know how to, because you already know, you know what I mean? And then, my mom worked, my dad was, it was hit and miss with him. It was, very hit and miss with him. Sometimes he was on his point, and sometimes it was just like not on point. But a lot of times there's stuff that goes on in between, where your parents are trying to do the best they can do. You don't realize how hard it is until you get older. If that makes sense, you don't realize how complicated life is because you're a kid. You don't know all the stuff. You just assuming it's supposed to be. You don't know, you don't know the obstacles that your parents are faced with. Some of them is their choice, but others not so much. And my mom worked. My dad, like I said, he was if he was hit and miss. But once I got old enough and I started paying stuff certain back then, the supermarkets in the neighborhood, you could actually go and try to make some money there. Other than maybe shoveling snow and sidewalks in the city, that was kind of the move, whatever. So I learned real early that there was ways as a kid to make some type of money to help with the household. So as a young boy, I would go to the supermarket, pack groceries, get tips, carry people groceries to their house. City life is a lot different than suburban life, so you don't walk far. So I'm carrying in groceries or whatever. Then I would get me a little wagon and stuff like that I had, and I would pack their groceries, put them on my wagon. Some people didn't have cars, so they had to walk home with their shopping carts and stuff like that. So these are the type of little things that I would do to try to make some type of money. Put their stuff on my wagon, had my wagon attached to my bicycle. Then I could carry 6, 7, 8 bags of groceries on my bicycle to the house. So I was very innovative.
I feel that.
I would try not to starve, bro. So, and I would come home, and I would give my mom a little bit of money. Like, Mom, I made some money today and stuff like that. And my mom, she never questioned where I got the money from, because I guess I didn't give those attributes of street life like the rest of.
You left her. So you kept that away from her. Right.
Yeah. Honestly, I was never that type of dude. That was one of my brothers. Like, as we got older, one of my brothers, he went that route, and I seen a side of my mother that I never saw. Like, my mom was not with that at all. Like, I never would have thought that. You would think growing up, struggling, and we hurting, that my mom would probably embrace it and say, "Oh, life is getting better because all of the money is coming from."
We see that a lot. I even had that in my family. Well, that's exactly what happened. They weren't even doing that bad.
Yeah, my mom wasn't having it, bro. She put my brother out the house. She was like, "I love you as a son," she said, "but I did not raise you to be like this, and I don't want no parts of it." My brother had to move out, and my mom didn't want no parts of it. But that was a side that I didn't see, because I seen the people that he was doing business with. They all did business with. Their family and their parents embraced it. Next thing you know, they riding around in nice cars and doing all this other stuff. My mom just wasn't happy. Like, and I'm not gonna say my mom is far from perfect, but that was the one stance that I was so glad my mom took. That I was just glad she took it. Even though my brother was hurt. Like, I've never seen my brother was a fighter. Like, he was hurt by it. He tears running out of his eyes. He didn't think that my mom would. He understood later why she did it.
Of course.
But me, I was a different slickster. So I would do little stuff like that to make little money, groceries. My dad was a contractor by trade, so sometimes when he did have work, he would drag me to work. And I really didn't do a whole lot of talking with my dad. I watched every little thing that they did. Why are they framing out these walls? Why are they doing this? Why are they measuring that? Why are they doing this? So I was picking it up very fast, like the work. So when I got back to my neighborhood, I would walk by people's houses. I see their screen doors hanging off. I had a book bag. I had my hammer, my screwdriver, everything in my bag that I could possibly use to try to fix it because I'm still trying to make money to take care of myself. And they would look at me, oh, you don't know how to do this type of work. Yes, I do, miss. I can do it. And I made some mistakes, but I learned from the mistakes and I still was getting them done. I mean, it was just, okay, I didn't expect this, see this, I didn't know this. I got to run to the hardware store, which was not that far away, to get something. And I was learning as a teenager. This is me as a teenager, how to fix stuff, how to do stuff. And I was doing to the point where some of the people in the neighborhood knew it.
So you probably say you were about 15, you about 15, 17, 8.
I'm going to say 15 is probably where I really started engaging in that part.
Okay.
Prior to that, our trash day in our community was on Tuesdays. Before that, I used to make bicycles. Every Tuesday, I would go ride. I would take my bike and ride through the neighborhood and grab all the bike parts I could find. And I would build bikes and I would sell them.
Okay. Little hustle.
A hustle. That's what I said. So you see what a pattern is at.
Yeah,
Eat myself. Yep. I remember old guy said, and I wasn't talking to him. I was, you know how you always talk about you listening to old school. They say you got an old soul.
Yes, sir.
I would listen to a lot of the old guys, and I wouldn't be up in their conversation, but I'd be close enough that I could hear it, but not just enough away that they didn't realize that I was listening.
Correct.
I remember this guy talking about how hard life was when he got out of jail. And he was like, man, everything I tried to do, I'm running into roadblocks, this, that, and that, and that. He was like, man, the worst thing you could do is go to jail as an adult. He said, because it just get hard after that. And I took that to heart. Like, now as a teenager, I've committed crime. Like, I got arrested. My first time getting arrested, I was 11 years old.
Okay.
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 Wait.
Okay. I've heard worse. That's it.
All right, so for you to understand the pattern, it was a roofing company around the corner from my house. And we used to get contractors. We would go in there and steal the roofing materials, and the contractor would buy it from us for a cheap price. So that's what we was doing. We would go in the roofing company at night and steal their stuff, throw it over the walls, and then sell it to the contractors that wanted it. Again,
and them contractors knew damn well.
They knew.
They knew that. Hey, but go ahead. We're gonna throw that out there.
They were trying to save money too. They were trying to make money too.
Yeah.
So
what you gonna do?
That's what was happening. And so I got arrested. I got caught one night with that one because my dumb behind one. We kids too. So not only we stealing, we want to play. So we in there playing around. That was the story I told you. I called myself trying to get away in a forklift.
You thought that thing was gonna be gone, boy.
And smart as we was as kids, we was really dumb too. So
Yep. That's how it be. As smart as you are, you do dumb stuff smart.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what was, how they say when you panic, you do dumb stuff. I panicked, jumped on the forklift, and just, I don't know. I called myself. My thought was I was going to use the forklift to break through the gate, but it didn't work because it didn't go fast enough, and they already caught me.
Oh Lord!
So you ain't make it to
the gate. You ain't even make it to. They walking right beside you, man. Get off the forklift, dog. ain't even running. They walking. Hey, turn it off, man.
They had already blocked off. Like, well, my friends and them already got caught going the other way that we normally would have gotten out of there. So my thought was, I ain't going where everybody else is going. I'm gonna go my own way. I jumped on the forklift, was trying to break the gate down, but it didn't work.
Yeah, that was a 70% good plan.
Yeah,
bad execution. The first part was good.
I didn't take into account that they could catch me walking. That was the first time I got locked up, and I'm 11 years old, whatever case may be, and I'm crying, got tears running out my eyes. My brother out there, he see me and whatever. I almost got away, even after the fact, because the police officers actually accidentally let me go and run to my brother. But they ended up locking me up again. And my brother was like, He's like, my little brother dumb behind. I'm like trying to tell him to keep going. Like he writes to me, no, keep going. But I mean, we laugh about it later. But I go. That was the first time I got arrested. The second time I got arrested was we tried to rob an undercover cop on the subway train.
Boy, talking about bad fortunes, man.
All right, so again,
out of all the people in New York, where you want to go with Philly?
He's Philly.
All the same things, no different. Out of all the people on the subway train, you just stumble across the undercover.
And my thing is this: it was so obvious that it was undercover, but again, we kids. Now, at this point, I'm probably about 14 years old. Again, still had those other hustle mentalities, trying to make money, and a lot of this stuff just came out of we didn't have nothing. We didn't have no money. We didn't know what we was gonna eat. So a lot of this came out of starvation, hunger, needing stuff. I didn't care about fancy stuff. Yeah, it was just
desperation.
Right. And what happened was we called ourselves running away from home. So now you're more hungry. That's how that ended up. Right. That's how we ended up in a situation where we needed some money. Homeboy sitting on the bench, he got some money hanging out of his pocket. And he acting like he sleep like this. And we kind of knew, because we mentioned it to each other, like, man, we think he undercover cop. But we was hungry, man. I'm like, well, one of us got to do it. And I'm like, well, I'm not the fastest of the crowd, but I probably was the strongest.
Okay. So
I come from behind him. I reach over, grab it. I get the money in my hand. Of course, he tries to grab my arm. When he grabs my arm, because I was on the back part of the bench, I just moved away from the bench. He fell off the back part of the bench, so there's no back to the bench. It's just a flat level. I get off from him, but then all of these dudes start coming out of different doors, which I didn't even know there were doors there down in the subway. I'm like, they came from different places, running, the crowd. So another one grabs me. I slings him off, and I'm almost getting ready to get out of the turn. But then they just started crowding me, and it was a wrap. It was a wrap at that point. They had already crowded me, or whatever. That was the second time I got arrested. As a juvenile, whatever the case may be. But that story of the guy saying, as an adult, you don't ever want to go to jail, it's still lingering in my head. Like, I'm running out of years because at 18, I gotta stop.
Yeah, hey, it's getting narrower and narrower. That road is closing in, bro.
Right. So I get out of that situation, whatever case may be. Actually, I ended up with probation out of that. 2 years probation. And one day, and I was always in the fights, bro. I know a lot of time when I tell people when I say I got in the fights, I got to fight all the time. So one day, I'm walking around the corner from my house, and this dude, I don't even know why we had beef with each other, but I just said, when I see you on site, it's a wrap. We're going to get it in. We're going to lock it in because you got too much mouth. We on a bridge fighting. Like, we started fighting. We on a bridge fighting. I'm tearing him up. I guess he didn't like what was happening to him, so he bit me on the forehead.
Oh, that dirty.
All right, so there's a bridge. We on a bridge. I picks him up, and I try to throw him over the bridge. Now I'm in my mind, I'm already blacked out. Like, now I'm in the hospital, like I'm about to destroy everything around me.
Yeah.
I picked him up. Just so happened, and I didn't toss him high enough because there was a gate, but it wasn't real high. His back hit the top part of that gate, but it kept him on this side. He didn't flip over the other side.
Okay.
But I was really trying to throw him off the bridge.
I bet what I would love to know what was going through that Joker mind when you had him.
When he got himself together, he ran. He ran off. He was just like,
yeah, I bet he's still running now.
He took off running. He was like, man, I almost went over a bridge that's easily, because the bridge is train tracks under there. So it's a high bridge that's easily like 50 feet high. Oh,
we ain't even talking about a bridge with water underneath.
No, this is you going down on train tracks and stone.
Oh man. So, yeah, that Joker still running now to this day.
he was out. But man, and then that's just kind of like I was. Like I said, I got into a lot of fights. I got in school. I almost got suspended. I mean, expelled permanently from school because again, the reason why I started was so stupid. It was over a bet that he lost. The guy lost. We had a bet. He lost the bet. He didn't want to pay me my money. I asked him for it. But you know how when you ask somebody something and they with all their homies and it's like 8 of them and it's just you.
Yeah.
He started, oh man, I ain't giving you nothing, this and that and that and that. And I'm like, oh well, we gonna have to run with it. So I guess he thought his homies was his backup. I don't know. I think I was a little reckless back then because we started fighting and I'm tearing him up again. And when when that school, the floors are all concrete. Like they didn't have like tile floors. It was all stamped. It's concrete, but it's like stamped with a pattern, but it's all solid concrete. So I picks him up. I'm like, we fighting. He started scratching me, like girls scratching. I just like, what? I picked him up like this, and I drive him to the ground. And I watched the bone where his elbow at right here because he put his arm down. The back part of that snapped. And they was like, and then of course I seen it, but I'm still in killer mode. So he's on the ground, he's screaming and hollering. I grabs his head, right? I picks his head up off the ground because I'm getting ready to ram the back of his head to the ground. At the moment I go that, one of the NTAs of the school saw the fight was running up. He ran and he dived and grabbed me off of him before I can actually ram his head into the ground because that was my next move was. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that you have no ability to do anything to me no more because I believe I blacked out.
You black. That's It's
right.
Once you get there, it's hard to come back.
Right, exactly. It was like
it's hard.
So I blacked out, and it was like so at some point, and I realized at some point I said, man. And meanwhile, while all this was going on, there's I was dating this girl at some point. I'm trying to give you some backstory. I was dating this girl at some point, and they when it comes to God, I had zero belief in God. Like everything that you hear, I'm telling you, when I say zero, I have zero belief in God. If someone said to me, "Oh, I believe in God," my response to that was, "There is no such thing. I believe in myself. There is no. When y'all talking about that's for everybody else, it's not for me." So a lot of times people, so I didn't. Not that people talk to me about God a whole lot because they didn't. Like I didn't grow up in church. I didn't grow up around a religious home, or you know how they go when people are like, oh well, you know what, that wasn't my home. My home wasn't wasn't a spiritual or stuff like that. That was zero in my house. Once in a blue, somebody might mention it, or you might hear some stories and stuff, but it was not. That wasn't a big deal in my home, but. My grandmother died when I was 9, and I think she was the only person that had any form of relationship with God when I was growing up. I don't remember anybody outside of that. There was no communication when God this or God that. So that's where I'm laying the backstory of a lot of stuff. Some of the things where I was mentally wise before my relationship with God came about. So trying to think, it was a girl I was dating at the time, and I think I was still 16, 15, somewhere around in that ballpark. And I used to work out a lot. Like I was a workout hog. I jogged all the time. I jogged a whole lot. Like I was always jogging, running, lifting weights. So I worked out a whole lot. So when I say a lot of stuff, I was just I wasn't very fast, but I was very strong, like physically strong.
Yeah.
But so I was dating this girl, and her family, they used to go to they were like religious, what you want to call it. I'm not going to say they really was religious. They had a relationship with God. And I didn't know that when I didn't even try to talk to the girl. She said something to me, and I said something back to her, and at some point we just started talking. I'm not gonna mention her name, but I'm just
her saying her last name.
Her family was you know, they was a church going family. They was, you know, God fearing family, whatever case may be. And I remember her asking like, they was used to have church in their house. I don't know what that is with black people. They love to have church in the house,
Yeah.
They were looking for a church building at the time, but they were looking for a church building, but they was in between. So at this point, they was having service in their house until they found another place.
They had a big family in the house.
Not really. I'm gonna say it was probably about 6 or 7 of them. That's about as far as I think it was.
Total, or 6 or 7 kids?
Total. But they did have a lot of people. They did have family members that would come there when they had service in the house. So when they had service in the house,
that's typically, I noticed in the black community, that's why they tend to start doing that service in the house, because they be damn late trying to get all them kids ready. So they just you know what I mean? They brought it to the house, like doing the hair and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So they would have service in their house or whatever, and then whenever they got ready to have service, I was like, all right, I'll holler at you later, because I'm not into that. Like, that's y'all thing. I mean, ain't got nothing to do with me. Right. So that's kind of where they give you a backstory of where my head is at. I had no belief in God whatsoever. And where things started changing at is I started having dreams that I could not explain. Now, we all have dreams all the time. We do. But there are sometimes you have dreams where they don't feel like dreams. They feel more real than the dream. It feels more real than your life that as you living it. And the one dream I had, it was me and a friend of mine, and we was in this gymnasium, and he was like, "Yo, man, you should never underestimate the power of Satan." And I'm like, "Well, you should never underestimate the power of God." And I remind you, I have zero relationship with God whatsoever.
It just came out.
Right, it just came out in his dream. Well, you should never underestimate the power of God. And he was like, "No, man, you should never underestimate the power of Satan." This is the back and forth conversation. And I go back at him like, well, I said the second time, and he was like, "No." I said, "Well, let me show you what I'm talking about." So I walked out into the middle of this gymnasium that we were in. This is in the dream. And I spread my arms out like this. My whole body it lifts up into suspended midair. And then I go like this, and it was some type of mural or something on the wall, and it got destroyed. And then I came down, and I walked past them and said, "See, you should never underestimate the power of God." And he just stared at me, and I woke up out the dream. And I'm like, now I'm sitting on the side of my bed, like, why did I have that dream? Like, I don't believe in God. Like, this don't even make sense to me, right? Cool. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks on the dime, I have another dream. Exactly 2 weeks from that day. I have
14 days.
Right? The second dream I had, it was me and another friend of mine. We was on the top of a mountain looking at the bottom of the sea. You see how impossible that is, right?
No, but look, I'm dialed in right now, because I love this. I love it. I'm dialed in, so go ahead.
So we on the top of a mountain, and we looking at the bottom of the sea. And we sitting there talking, and I'm like, and we looking at the sea, and we see all the fish and stuff swimming back and forth, but we're on the top of a mountain, and we're looking at water from the bottom of it, and we're like, wow. And then it started changing formations. So it went from us looking at the bottom of the sea to looking at demons flying back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it changed again, back to clouds. And my buddy was like, "Yo, what is that?" I was like, "Man," that's those are demons. They flying back and forth. I wonder where they going." And then I woke up out the dream.
Okay.
Now I'm sweating in the dream, like, why am I having these dreams? And in my mind, they kind of tormenting me, not in the sense of I feel tormented like that, but it's like,
yeah.
Now I'm looking for answers because they don't make sense to me. So one day, the girl that I used to mess with, I was very close to their family. Like even though me and her really wasn't dealing with each other like that, they were like family to me. So I'm over there, and her mom was in the kitchen cooking. And she turns around with me out of clear blue sky, was like, Ronnie, God told me to tell you that you're going to need him. And I looked at her, I was like, okay, Miss Shirley, I got to go. See you later. Walked out the house, right? And I'm like, I don't even know why she said that. She don't know what she's talking about. I don't believe in God.
Last thing on your mind.
I come like 2 days after she said that, I'm back over there again. And I tried to explain to her about the dreams because I'm thinking, well, maybe they spiritual, they might have an answer, blah, 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 blah. I forget what she told me, but it didn't settle with me. Like, it just like, nah, this don't even make sense. Like, no, this ain't adding up. So 2 weeks to the dime, I'm in another dream. At this point.
So this is the third dream.
This is the third dream, right? So this one, I go and I'm in this dream, and everything was like normal watching everybody, all stuff like that. And then this dude comes riding up on his horse, and he's riding on a horse, and he's going like this, woof. And when he would go like that, whatever the people that was over there, they got possessed. Come to find out, he was Satan on a horse, and he was just possessing people. And then he would ride again. He would wave every time he would wave his hand. If it was 10 people over there, they got possessed. He was just going around possessing people. And I'm like, what is this? So now I'm in like, I got to try to save the world mode. Like, I'm trying to figure out the answer to stop this because he's possessing all these people. So I'm running around trying to figure out, looking for an answer. Everything is like, people are running. It's chaotic now. It was calm at first and it was just chaotic. Honestly speaking, this is probably the most scariest dream I ever had at the time in my lifetime up until that point, right? It's like a movie. So as I'm running, it's this little kid, he's hiding in the corner like this. And he has a gun in his hand. And people were trying to the people that Satan would possess would go possess more people. So he wasn't working by himself anymore. It was just spreading like wildfire. So every time somebody would come to try to possess him, he would shoot him with the gun, but the gun didn't shoot bullets, it shot sugar. And when he would shoot them with the gun, it would unpossess them. So every time he would come, he would shoot him, and it would shoot sugar out. When it hit the person, it would unpossess them. So I'm like, oh snap, he got something that's working. So I'm like, okay, kid, come with me. Let me have a gun. I'm gonna probably do more damage because on that I'm like trying to. But every time I unpossess one person, he will possess like 50 more. And it was working, but it really wasn't working. All it did was creating more frustration for me. Okay. So I gave the kid back the gun and I took off running. So I'm running and I'm running down the street, but then there's this big giant church in front of me. I'm gonna say it's a church, but I really don't know. They had the biggest red doors that I've ever seen in my life. Like these doors were giant doors. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run in there. And as I'm running, I go to it. It was just a few steps before you get to the door to grab the handle. But as I run, I get to the few steps and I go to grab this handle to open up the door. At the moment that I go to grab the handle, open up the door, this voice spoke to me and said, "Why don't you pray?" So, of course, in a dream, I don't know who am I praying to? What are you talking about? Like, correct. So I go to open the door and say, "Why don't you pray?" So, of course, I never go through the doors. I drop to my knees right there. And I don't even know what I said prayer-wise, but I did got on my knees into a prayer position. But before I can speak a few words, the voice said, "Now turn around and look to the sky." So I turn my head around like this, and I'm looking up at the sky. The moment I looked at the sky, something said, crack, 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 crack. The whole sky splits open. This light shoots out of the sky, covers the whole earth, shoots back in, and it closes up the sky, and everything stopped. Okay. And I woke up out of that dream. I had sweat running down my face. I'm on the side of my bed, like I don't know if I want to go to sleep anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to sleep anymore, man. It's getting real. I'm like,
it got intense, boy.
It got intense. So now I'm trying to find answers because now all of this stuff keeps happening to me in my dream, and it's not like, what is this? Like this. So I go back and I'm looking and I'm trying to find answers to this, and I'm still not getting the answers that I'm looking for because now I feel like these dreams mean something. It's not just somebody having dreams.
These not normal dreams.
Right. These are not normal dreams.
You can tell that, yeah, it hit different.
Right. So they were hitting different. So I ended up having another dream. 2 weeks on the dot.
Fourth dream.
This is number 4. Me and my brother didn't live there no more. I was still at my mom's house at this time. My brother didn't stay there no more. But we was in the dream. We both was in the same room. We had bunk beds, but they sat beside each other. Not beside each other, but on each side of the room. In the dream, he was back at the house with me. He was in his bed. I was in my bed. We both were asleep. And there was something evil and demonic coming to get us. I don't know what it was because I'm asleep, but I can feel the evil and demonic presence coming. But at the moment it got there close enough to try to get us, these giant hands reached through both windows that was in our room and covered my brother with his hands and covered me with his hand. And whatever it was evil, it couldn't touch us. And then at some point, I woke up out of this dream. And I'm like, all right, this. When I say I'm probably the most stubborn person you know. So, I'm like, all right, there's no coincidence. Some things I believe in coincidence. This ain't no coincidence. So, I got to back up a little bit. So the reason why I brought the people that was the girl I used to date with her family in, because I got to back up and kind of give you a backstory a little bit more.
Go ahead.
All right, so I was telling you I used to do contract work, little odd jobs and stuff, right? And they used to have church in their house. All right, so they wanted to have church in their basement, right? So I was telling her, I said, well, I'll buy the material, I'll do the work in the basement. Because again, I'm trying to sharpen my skills, my carpentry skills. I wanted to do it. I never did a basement in my life, never finished nobody's basement ever before. I wanted to do it. And the only thing I wanted to do was get that experience under my belt, but I actually did it. So they buying the material. I'm down there framing out the basement, putting up. At that time, people used paneling in big towns. They wanted a certain paneling down there. So I framed the whole basement out, put benches and stuff in there, put up paneling everywhere. And I'm doing this whole basement over, like redoing the basement so they can have church service down there. So, of course, their preacher friends and stuff coming by, they coming down in the basement. And they like, yeah, look at God. God is blessing us. And they said, look at God using him to build the church and stuff like that. And in my mind, I'm like, God ain't using him. Y'all asked me to do this. I'm doing this. I don't know what y'all talking. She's like, he's not even, he don't even serve God, but yeah, he's building God's house or whatever. I'm like, yeah, y'all go. In my mind, I'm still like, yeah, y'all know what y'all talking about. I just let them talk at this point. You let
them have.
So they never even got to the point of using the basement for that very reason, because they ended up finding another church building. So their grandson, who was always around me for some reason, her grandson, who was like, I used to say OG, I was like his OG. Everywhere I went, he wanted to be around me all the time. So he was just like, and I didn't have no problem with it. I'm like, I'm probably not the best person for you to learn from, but whatever. And I remember her mom, her grandma, because he was a problem child too. And she was like, I don't know, whatever it is you're saying to my grandson. She said, I appreciate it because he seemed like he has a different look on life. Honestly, I don't even know what I was saying to him. I would just be talking. And later, real quick story. Later, he ended up being a mentor to his brothers and sisters. He ended up being a child advocate. He ended up being a straight A student, which he was failing horribly. He ended up getting married, having children. They had multiple articles written from him. He does child advocate work. He ended up getting a scholarship to go to. He went to college. He got a scholarship for playing football. He was a quarterback on the football team, and I think it was Edison School in Philadelphia. So this is what came out of that. And I'm not, honestly, I could not tell you what it was I was saying that made the difference.
Yeah, that's how you know it's bigger than you.
Right, and I knew it was bigger than me, but I do remember one thing I said to him was, I said, bro, you can go to school and still be cool. Meanwhile, I was not exercising that very same mentality.
Yeah.
I said to him,
that.
you know, you don't have to be out here cutting school and doing all this crazy stuff to be cool. You can go to school, get a good education, be smart, and still be cool. I said, matter of fact, you probably gonna be more cool because you're gonna have something going on for yourself. But that's what ended up coming out of that. And I'm like, oh man, this. So at one point, they ended up moving into a church, right? So in the church, they didn't have a whole lot of money to work with. So of course, they was like, asked me, is it possible for me to build them a podium? Like, you know how you have a preacher's podium?
Yeah.
So they didn't have money to buy one. So they asked me, could I make them? So me knowing that when you go to church, you got to preach and stuff like that, I built the podium, but I put all the controls to the podium there so the preacher can do it all right from the very podium. So I put the speaker in, amplifier, everything there, the microphone, so he can control everything he needed to control right from his podium. Need I remind you, I'm still a teenager. Doing all this stuff.
That's what's up.
Right. So I'm like, you know, so he was like, and then but I'm not going to church. Like, I'm not involved in nothing that they're doing, but I'm finding myself doing little stuff. So here's where the story gets a little bit deep. So my comfort zone was me being in my vehicle. I had a Chevy Blazer at the time, and I say I had it systemed up. It was systemed up. I had amps, 15-inch speakers, 6x9s, 10-inch speakers, 2 amps, door speakers, everything. When I 3 blocks away, you hear me coming.
just a whole black person, just a whole ninja.
The whole black person. And I mean the whole back of that truck was full of speakers all the way through. So just to kind of get an idea. So that was my comfort zone. Whenever I just wanted to just kind of tone everybody up. Remember I said I was always by myself. I rarely ever you see me with anybody else. So I get in my vehicle, turn my music on, I just be chilling. And I mean, ride through, ain't got nowhere to go, just rolling.
Just sliding.
Going through different neighborhoods, just chilling, enjoying music, laid back. So this particular one day, I'm driving. I just happened to be driving past their church. And I look, and I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. I might as well just go to church. So I parked my vehicle and went into the church service, right? Everybody looking back like, what are you doing?
What is going on in here, man?
What is going on here? This boy ain't supposed to be here. Because they already knew where my stance was at on that. So I go in the church. And I sit in the back of the church. And I'm sitting there. And they had a guest speaker that day. Right? And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, whatever case may be. Oh, no. You know what? I'm missing something. I'm missing a whole lot. I just realized I missed a whole chunk of stuff. Let me back that up.
Back that thing up, man.
Huh?
Let's say back that thing up.
Yeah, let me back up. I missed a whole chunk of stuff before that. So prior to that, I'm driving in my truck. This is one of the days where things start getting weird for me, man. And I'm driving. This is before that happened. I'm driving in my truck. I got my music blasting. I'm chilling. And at some point, I start hearing this voice say, "Turn the music down." And I'm like, am I going crazy or am I hearing stuff? Like, I'm literally questioning my sanity at this point because it's like, why am I hearing something talking to me? But the music is so loud. How can it? And I know that ain't in the song. So I'm like, what? I'm like, I just kind of ignored it. It was like, no, I'm gonna keep driving. So I'm still driving, and it said, turn the music down. And the voice wasn't loud. It wasn't like, but I could still hear the voice and the voice speaking to me over the music, but the voice was not loud at all. So at some point, I didn't turn the music down because it told me to. I turned it down because now I'm like, wait a minute, let me turn this music down. Because why am I hearing somebody talking to me and there's nobody here but me?
And the music blasting.
And the music is blasting.
But it's a soft voice.
But it's a soft voice. So I'm like, so right after that, the voice said, all it said was, I want you to get saved. And I'm like, what's that? Like, I have no clue what that is. Even though I've kind of got an idea that might be what they talking about. And that's all the voice said to me. And then At that moment, the presence of God fell into my truck. That to this day, it was nothing I've experienced like that. Like right now, I'm even getting emotionally affected by it because it was just like, what is this? A level of love fell into my truck, man. It was like, if this is God, I need to know more. When I say everything fell off, if there was anything I was concerned about, worried about, it was gone. Like gone. In my truck, I'm not in no church service. I'm not nobody preaching to me. It was like, what is this? Why nobody told me about this? Forget what y'all saying out your mouth. What is this?
What is
What
this?
is this in my truck? What
Facts.
is this? Like, what am I? Right. Then like, yo, this right here.
The experience. The experience.
Right.
Man.
Bro, when I say that lit me up, it lit me up. And I'm like, bro, what is this? I don't understand this. Now, here's how I remind you. At that moment, I got to tell you another story before that, but I'm going to just tell you that part, right? So now, prior to that, there was this one day, and I can't explain it to you because you don't live in Philadelphia, but I'm going to give you the best I can. There was this bridge that we go, it's called Monument Bridge in the park, one of the park, Fairmount Park in Philadelphia. Now, when you go across this bridge, there is a stone wall that you got to make a hard right and swerve around and then it's a hard, like people come this way, but there's also a hard right. But in front of you, there is a stone wall. This is prior to this. I don't even know why I did it because I'll be honest with you, I was not you know how some people say I'm miserable, depressed, and stuff like that. I wasn't a person. But prior to that day that I'm telling you about, I believe Satan tried to kill me. Because in a brief moment, I got on that road and something said, hit the gas and close your eyes and hit that wall. And that's exactly what I did. I pushed the gas, closed my eyes, let the steering wheel go, and my truck is barreling towards that wall. Now, I know the wall wasn't that far, but at some point, I'm like, wait a minute, this is taking too long. I should have been hit that wall. When I opened my eyes up, I was all the way around the wall already. I already went through 2 more intersections that I probably should have got whacked by another car, and I'm sitting at a red traffic light when I opened my eyes up. And I'm like,
first, let me say, I believe everything you're saying. I believe in this type of stuff.
I said, wait. How is it that I got around that solid brick wall? You would have to make a hard right. Immediately at the hard right, you got to turn slightly left because there is a cliff right there. It has a bar right there, but there's a cliff. So you can't just drive straight. You got to turn right, turn left. Then you got to go through another intersection, which is traffic going this way. You got to go through another intersection with traffic going, and then there's a street light where you can only either make a left or right. Now I'm sitting at that traffic light by the time I open my eyes up. And I'm like, that wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to hit that wall. I know I was supposed to hit that wall. And I opened my eyes up. But now I'm messed up, bro. Now, this happened prior to that day of God, the voice telling me, I want you to get saved.
So that happened before that day.
Yeah, but guess where it happened at? Same bridge.
After
the fact.
So that's leading up to I want you to voice with the fire. Dope.
So I'm like, I come across this bridge and something tried to take me out. I come across this bridge and now it's talking about, I want you to get saved. I don't even know what salvation is. I have no clue. I mean, I know what the church people talk about, but I have no one participating in what they is. So I'm assuming that maybe that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. So then going back to the other day where I told you I ended up in the church, right? I'm driving past the church, again, got my music blasting, I come out. I said, you know what? I ain't doing nothing today. I might as well go to church. So I go to church, inside the church. I'm sitting there, and there's one preacher they had, a guest speaker there, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm in the back of the church, and I'm like, you know, whatever. Like, I'm just here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, of course, they have an altar call. I'm not thinking about salvation. Still not thinking. All of this happening prior to this, the dreams, all of this stuff is happening. You would think at some point I would be, yo, bro, you still sitting in the back of that church. Like, first of all, I'm not even supposed to be in church today. This was not on the plan. It's not on the books.
Yeah.
But yet I'm here. So they had an altar call. And I said, you know, and I was like, he wasn't asking for salvation. Now I can look back. He wasn't asking people that wanted to save. He just was calling people up that they want prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
the
like,
altar
you know
call.
what? Yeah. Just about prayer. If you want prayer.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get back there, and then this is me. I'm back there. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go up there for prayer, but I'm gonna ask him to pray for my brother. I'm like, this is what is in my head. Like, I'm gonna ask him to pray for my brother.
The joker who just about to run himself into a wall, talk about to go ask him to pray for. This how I think. Go ahead, OG.
Well, we get up there. I get in line. There's a few people in front of me. So he gets to me and said, "What is it you want me to pray for?" I said, "I want to get saved." I tried to say, "Pray for my brother," but when it came out, "I want to get saved." And he was thrown off because that wasn't what it was about. He kind of got like a little bit like, oh, I didn't expect this. So that was a night that I gave my life to Christ, right?
Okay.
And need I remind you, still not enough for me though. When I say I am probably one of the most skeptical person you ever want to meet, I'm like, okay, I gave my life to Christ, whatever the case may be, and I will test anything somebody say to some extent. I mean, I don't knock what nobody believe, but this is how I ended up where I'm at, right? So we get out of there, and this dude he's like, "Oh well, we're gonna get you baptized tonight." And I'm like, "Man, it's cold. What are you talking about baptized? What that mean? I want to go home." And he was like, "Oh, we gotta get you baptized tonight." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm still trying to figure out what they talking about. Like, what are y'all talking about baptized? Like, I'm ready to go home. It's cold out here. So this dude was just determined he wanted to throw me in some water and baptize me in water. Because that was a big deal in that church. Yeah. I wasn't
being saved by water baptism.
Yeah, they was the big deal with like church. Later I didn't, and just in my personal thing, like that wasn't that big of a deal. But I get where they was at with it. I mean, to me it was like, I don't get it. But you know, that ended up happening that night. You know, after that, you know, it's like, all right, but it still is not. That part was real for me, but it wasn't settled for me. So it's like, all right, I need to know who this God is. Now, you done bothered me, it came for me. I have no idea why you bothering me. I'm probably the worst choice you could possibly make in an individual. But yet, for some reason, you feel the need to keep bothering me. I don't understand why. I can't get it. I don't get it. Like there is so many better choices than you could pick than bothering with somebody about me. But I do want to know who you are, because what that was in my truck, I want to know who that is. I really wasn't concerned about what the Bible says. I wasn't concerned about what people did religiously. That whatever that was in my truck, I wanted to know what that was. I needed to know that. I wanted to get that because that was more real to me than anything. Like that was more real to me than life itself. And it was like, I need to know what that is. And I'm like, but I understood that it was something. Later I understood what was really going on. But if the hunger was for that presence, what that was, I wanted to know what that presence was.
I'm like, no, I'm like, the hell? Help. I need no damn help. You know, I got God. And they were like, all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. So we hung up.
When God does something, and this is one thing I had to accept myself, is that when you have a heart for God, there is a point but he gonna move for you in such a way it's gonna be overwhelming.